Hey everyone, my name's Matt, I'm from Filthy Off-Road Adventures and welcome back. So one of the biggest questions we actually get is what gear do we use to film our adventures? Wow, tell you what, loving the fuel prices on the southwest of WA. With a discount then we got $1.55.7, that's pretty good, hey? So this video is going to be all about the gear we use to shoot our travel trips, well, to shoot in general. It's going to cover everything from our action cams right through to our drones, and more importantly why we actually choose to use them. So the biggest thing is this is not a you have to have all of this gear, this is what we use. Okay, so what I've done is I've just laid out some of the stuff here. Now, I'm a bit embarrassed to say this is not all of it, but it's 98%. This is most of the stuff that we use. Now, the reason I've just done this, I've swapped this around quickly, is I want to start with this and then I'm going to put this back on the tripod and use this for the rest of the video. So at the moment, I'm just using my little action cam, which I'll go through in a second, one of them. This is the main camera that we use, particularly for vlogging and what you call B-roll. So B-roll is where you're shooting scenery, things like that, not necessarily talking to the camera, etc. like that. So think of B-roll as like the setup or the scene or giving you the feeling of or the emotion of the area without people talking about it. 98% of what we film on this. So this is my Canon R7. So it's a mirrorless camera. So it's everyone used to call them digital SLRs or DSLRs. It's that, but the difference is mirrorless is significantly lighter. And as you can see, it's not a bad size. It's got a really good grip on it, so when I am walking, it's very easy to hold. Compared to some of the higher spec models, like Lisa uses the R6, which is the high model, the issue with that is it overheats when you're recording. This is bulletproof. This and also the model below, the R10. The R10's much better price point. I don't know if you can hear those gorgeous black cockies in the background, it's beautiful. So the great thing about an SLR style camera is that you've got a lot more ability to things like manual focus and play around with settings, etc. and things like that. Majority of my time filming, we use this Sigma lens. It's a 10-18, so it's quite a wide lens. So the advantage of that is particularly if you are vlogging, talking to you guys, you can actually have it on a smaller stick like this, not having to run around, try and put on a long selfie stick, which then can become quite heavy. So nice and wide. It does mean that you can't bring things in very well, but we do have an option for that as well. I don't use this as much as I should. This is an 18-150. It's close to a telephoto lens. So basically, as you can see, it brings in quite a lot further. Once again, designed specifically for this. Now for all you camera nerds out there, I'm sure if you are a camera nerd, you're not looking at this as a very basic one, but this is what they call a crop sensor. So it naturally brings the subjects closer anyway. So if this says 150, it's actually further. It's actually, I can't remember the mass, it's probably about a 160 to 170 equivalent. So it does crop the image in a little bit. So that's what we use for the majority of our filming, and then we'll talk about mics later, but as you can see here, This has got the Rode boom mic. I've actually got 2 of these. This is the bigger one, and it's in scenes like this when you're doing B-roll, it is beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. And we also have wireless mics on, which I'll show you those in a minute. So that's the R7. So I'm just going to set up and change the cameras and put this back on, so you'll see the difference. Okay, so we'll swap back out. So this is what you were just watching then. So this was actually the previous part was recorded on this little Action 5. So this is the DJI Action 5 action cam. These are absolutely amazing. In my opinion, probably if you wanted to get straight into this type of content and everything like that, this is a great starting point. It is absolutely fantastic. What you can get out of this is amazing. You can even use, you can actually go in the water with them. I've forgotten, I think they're 30 meters or something like that, waterproof. We bought a dive case just to be safe, but these are absolutely fantastic. They give you fantastic quality. They give you great audio, even if you don't want to use an external mic like we are. They're very, very, very good. Also too, the great thing about these is we've got the little DJI minis like this. Mics, so this actually will connect directly to it, so you can actually just buy a single mic and away you go. Super tough, super durable, and unlike things like, we went away from GoPro because they just overheat, they cause so much problems. Honestly, I just wanted to throw them in the bin every time I use them. So ever since we've gone DJI, we've not looked back. Now we've also got DJI in an Action 3 as well. Unfortunately, that's actually not here, I just don't have that with me, but it looks identical, it's just it's the older spec. So once again, very, very good cameras and a great starting point if you want to get into vlogging or capturing adventure content. That thing's out the car, under the car, everywhere. They get the hell beat out of them. Very, very good. We also use 360s. These are, I reckon, one of the biggest game changers out there. If you are wanting to capture some cool content, cool angles, but you don't necessarily have the time to be able to stop and capture content all the time, you got to keep going. These are fantastic. They capture from a front lens and a rear lens and then stitch them together. And then this section here basically gets covered up by the thing. So it becomes an invisible stick. So you hold that out there, you capture it, you don't actually see the selfie stick, you see it, your hand, that's it. So the great thing about this is if you are traveling, you're doing adventure travel, you can literally go, okay, I can't stop here for whatever reason, maybe there's traffic, maybe whatever, but I really want to get a different perspective other than that boring old dash one. You can stick this out the window, up high, up low, wherever you want. And then once you've actually captured it in post or post-production, basically you go and you look at the footage and you can move it 360 degrees and reframe it to exactly what you want. You can do some really cool things like tiny planets, all of that sort of stuff. We don't get into that, but that's some really cool features if you wanted to do that. Certainly gives you a lot of flexibility. The one thing I will say with these is they are very easy to wreck. Super easy to damage. So this one here is now basically our sacrificial one. So I don't know if you'll be able to see this. I'll bring it in for you. See those little damages on the actual lens? Well, that's from when it was just sitting up. Lisa was capturing us setting up a campsite. Very small amount of wind, blew it over. It was on a stick, like actually it was on this stick. So this is one of the sticks you can get, which is just a little tripod. Just goes like that. And it was just on the ground like that, and basically just fell over straight into the ground and damaged the lens.
Yep, and it's smashed.
So what we do is we still use that, but it just means there's a big section of that film we can't use. Or you can use them individually, like front or rear lens only. So that's the sacrificial one. That's the one that's always outside. That's why it's covered in dirt. And basically if it gets wrecked, it's wrecked. It's already kind of wrecked anyway. So yeah, that's the big thing with 360s is you've got to be very, very careful of the the lenses. They're super fragile. Your iPhone is amazing, and with the exception of this, it's probably the easiest entry point and cost effective because you've already probably got this anyway. So cost effectiveness of an iPhone or a Samsung, whatever phone you want, any sort of camera with, phone with a decent camera, they're incredible. What you can capture with these is absolutely phenomenal. Quality wise, sound is very good. You can actually put cordless mics to them as well, so if you want to up your game for audio. I do believe audio can make and break a video. Let's get into the stuff that everyone loves. I've got a bit of a problem with drones. So we've had a few drones. our first drone we ever got was a mini, and I clipped a tree, small branch above a waterfall, stalled the rotor, bang, went in, gone. So if you're ever buying a drone, buy the Refresh, it's worth its weight in gold. This is our Air 2S. We've had this for 3.5 years. This has done a hell of a lot of flying. It's bigger than a mini, but it's certainly small enough that you can chuck in a backpack and take it with you on hikes. Fantastic. It's also a bit more resistant to wind than what the minis are, but also very, very good quality sensor on these. Absolutely fantastic drones. I would definitely rate one of these. If you're wondering about this is actually to do with, it's a deterrent for birds. I might actually do a video on it. I've got to be honest with you, it works brilliantly. It looks like rubbish, but it definitely works. This is something that is going to be very niche and not many people are going to want to get into this. This is what they call an FPV. So an FPV is basically designed for getting those really unusual pictures. Basically flying through objects. There's no sensors on this. If you hit something, you hit it. It's not going to break for you. It's going to fly straight into it. I could aim for that tree and it'll just go straight into it. Won't even know it's there. So it has got tough cases all around, so it does take a beating, thankfully. But they are designed, so basically when they fly, they don't just fly like a drone normally flies like this. These turn, if you put control like this, you can go manual mode and you can actually do flips and everything like that. I'm not that good, still learning this very much, but this is good just for those different sort of shots, just very, very different, fast shots. So they're very cool. So they do use a goggle. Kind of look a bit weird doing it, but they are fantastic. So then getting into my latest baby. So this is the new Mavic 4 Pro. This is way above what most people need, and it is absolutely a beast. It's I've only had it for probably about 3 weeks. It's absolutely phenomenal, and you can see the difference in size. It's significantly larger, means you can fly in very, very strong winds, and also too, it's got 3 lenses on it, which is just incredible. It gives you the most amazing footage you've ever seen, and it is just, like I said, it's an absolute beast, and I can't wait to show you some of the content that we've going to catch with this. I haven't had a chance to do a huge amount with it yet. I've only done a small amount. The one thing I do love, and the one thing I will recommend with any drone you buy, make sure you get, if you can afford it, this is all relative to money, but if you can afford it, get the one with the screen built in. It makes a significant difference to the ones where you put your phone in. One, because your phone doesn't go flat, but also 2, this is just so much easier to see. So that's the one for the Air 2S, great control. This is the new one from the Pro, so the 4 Pro, so it's a very different thing again. This is even significantly brighter again, even better again. So look, drones, you do not need to spend uber dollars. It's like I said, a mini, for example, the mini is absolutely phenomenal for everyday use. It's how much quieter this one is compared to the others, and it's a bigger drone. Alright, so then we'll talk about some little just side things that you can look at. So these are suction caps. They're a sea sucker. So they literally just go onto a subject, onto a surface, oops, and you do that, and basically what it does, it just sucks down. Once the orange disappeared, it's good to go. And I'm just going to be careful I don't drop my cameras, but you can see I could actually pick that entire table up with that mount. So absolutely phenomenal. So we use these on the side of the car, side of the camper, anywhere where there's a semi-flat surface. Even the curve of our bonnet, that will still work. So then the bars on top move to whatever angle you want. So these are absolutely fantastic. They're very, very good. As you can see, that's where the old sacrificial 360 is attached to. This, with the exception of professional shoot stuff that we're trying to get into, this doesn't get used a huge amount. So this is a gimbal. The gimbal is used for the camera that you're on at the moment. It will balance. So as I'm walking along, it will stay flat and level unless I put in different settings. So the idea is I can have it down low on the ground. So down low on the ground, walk along, and it will level out and stop any unevenness as I'm walking. So if I'm walking like this, even though the camera will move across like this, the camera will stay flat. So if you're panning, things like that, it'll flatten out everything you do. Should use it more than I do. I used to use it a lot. I've got to be honest, I stopped using it purely and simply because of the extra weight and when we're hiking and stuff like that. But still very, very, very good unit. So the other one that we need to talk about is too is tripods. Now, we have, I think, 4 tripods. So this is our heavy duty one, which kind of looks ridiculous with the action cam on it. But this is our heavy duty one that we use when we're set up for a long time, for Lisa, for sunsets, things like that. Or when we're doing this type of thing as well. It's just really rock steady. It's really, really solid. Then we've also got 2 really lightweight ones that we use when we're in the field. So basically that just allows us to not carry a huge amount of weight, but still have a tripod. Now, when you're filming, if you're going to be filming on your own, which a lot of people are, then you'll find a tripod is your single best friend that you'll have. It is essential if you want to get it. Otherwise, you're doing this constantly, just vlogging by the old handout. You can get so much more depth and so much more interest when you've got a tripod. So that's another one to consider. And they're not super expensive either, thankfully. You don't have to spend $1 million. So like I was saying before, if you were going to look at doing something, even a basic action cam, things like that, the one thing I would definitely recommend is mics. Now, an external mic, there's lots of different ones out there. I've got the little minis on, which we've just purchased. This is the original DJI mics. These are fantastic as well. We've just upgraded, that's all, to the new ones. But audio can make and break your video, simple as that. If you've got the most stunning footage and you've got crappy audio, people are going to switch off. It's just the reality. And also you lose that immersiveness of the footage. Don't go to the effort of going and making this amazing footage and then let yourself down with audio. These aren't that expensive. Well, the minis and everything like that, they're actually quite reasonable, especially if you get something like an Action 5 or something like that, where you can actually pair it straight to your camera. Actually, even the new minis will pair to my phone, they'll pair to my laptop, they'll pair to everything like that, so I can use them for voiceovers and everything like that as well. So they're more than a single use item, which is really, really good. So the other thing I'm not going to go through, like I said, this is not a tutorial, there's heaps of stuff online. But the other thing that you want to, if you really want to get into the cinematic stuff, we don't use these as much, and I'm going to definitely start working on using them more with the new Mavic 4. But these are filters. So these are basically ND filters that are designed to go onto the front of your camera or your drone. You hear those beautiful birds? Just up here, they're gorgeous, a big flock of black cockatoos. I think they're red tails. Anyway, sorry, back to the video. But these are, think of these as sunglasses for your drone or for your camera. It allows you to slow your shutter speed down and get that really cinematic, dreamy footage that you want. Like I said, if you want to do any research on this, there's a lot of people out there that can explain it better than me, because I'm still very much learning. This is the one area I need to upskill a lot. So check them out, ND filters, if you want to look at them up. So the biggest thing to know is that our kit has evolved over time. You don't need to rush out and buy things. In actual fact, there's things that we've bought that we've made a mistake because we've just gone out and bought them. Wait till you need it. Wait till you go, okay, I've done the best I can do with that. So you don't need all of this gear to get out there and do it. Your best camera is the one you've got now. So to get out there and start filming. I really hope that was of help to you, and it actually inspires you to get out and do some filming yourself. Now, if there's any other sort of videos you'd like us to cover, pop it in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And remember, subscribe and follow us along. We'd love to have you part of the team. See you soon. Bye.